Today we are talking about Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 7. We're going to be asking the questions like, will Keith track down Peacemaker for a big finale showdown? What's the emotional state of Peacemaker and how is this all going to connect to Superman, Man of Tomorrow, and Argus with that quantum unfolding chamber? We're going to talk about all that and more on an all-new episode of Unbinged starting now. Welcome into Unbinged, a podcast where we talk about the movies and shows you love to binge. I'm Alfredo Brown, joined as always, I got Jagger May, Matt Kaufhammer. Today we're talking about Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 7. And guys, it's the penultimate episode. There's a lot that's sort of very emotionally charged right now, hanging in the balance. We're going to talk about all of it, but first, let's get the spoiler warning.
This is your one and only warning that we're about to spoil everything in Peacemaker.
Okay, so initially, I think we were going to ask the question, is Keith going to track down Peacemaker in the finale? And it's just like, well, yeah, it does seem like they're setting that up there. I think maybe the real thing here is, could Keith kill Peacemaker? Is Peacemaker going to have to kill Keith? Like, how does that get resolved with his brother? Is this something that we talked about? I think it was like back in like episode 2 or 3, whenever this got revealed, Chris might actually end up having to kill Keith again. And it, once again, it may not be on purpose. Jag, is that something that you see happening?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see this being wrapped up in a nice bow where, you know, they give the Arnold Schwarzenegger fucking meme where they just
Carl
shake
Weathers.
hands. Yeah, Carl Weathers meme. They shake hands and just move on. I don't see that happening. He looks like a fucking Cyclops at this point now. He lost his dad. It's not just that his brother died and was accidentally killed but like that was,
they can't go back.
You can't go
There's
back.
There's no going back.
Yeah, to me it's an unfortunate situation because now Keith is going to have to cross the streams into what he feels like is a filthy world on top of that, and then we got two people that are just pissed off at Chris, and it's, to be fair, it is his fault and it's not. It really is. It's him just kind of being there. Shit's happening, you know?
This is what happens when you don't read books. I mean, first you miss all the obvious signs in the Nazi world, and then 2, you just fuck everything up that you touch because you don't stop to think about what you're doing.
You missed the Hitler mural.
And this is just going to show the Hitler mural on the wall.
Actually, you're right, Koff. This is like, you're guilty by ignorance, kind of. Like, are you that fucking dumb, dude? You were like so Google-eyed over Harcourt. I get it, Jennifer Holland, hot girl, but like that stash back there, buddy. How'd you miss that? You know.
Yeah, it's just him being oblivious and just kind of bumbling through situations. It's leaving collateral damage in his wake, and he's finally woken up to that and finally being confronted with that. And I wonder if we're going to be able to see Keith come to that understanding and forgive him because he's like, you're just an idiot, or if he's really going to try to kill Peacemaker. I think the biggest hurdle, though, now is with the quantum unfolding chamber in Argus custody. How is Keith going to get to Peacemaker unless they're like right next door to each other in the Argus facility? I think that's going to be a bit of a hurdle in the beginning of the episode for the finale before he actually confronts Chris. So how much damage is Keith going to do to our world before that final confrontation?
Yeah, because I was thinking back to it. Augie says, like, I got to change the code on that door, right? So I'm sure the second that Keith can, he's getting out of that hospital, he's going through the door, and how's he going to figure out which door is which?
Because
he's just going to find the Peacemaker helmets.
Well,
yeah,
the door's
exactly.
closed.
There is no door
right?
until Argus opens it.
Yeah. So they're going to open up in an Argus facility. And
that's going to be interesting. Who do you think is the first person that Keith ends up seeing when he walks through that door?
The cyborg.
No. I don't want her to die.
She might not die. I'm just saying, like, that's the first person.
She's more machine than woman now.
What if it's Flurry? Oh, that would suck.
That actually, he doesn't seem...
That tracks.
Yeah. That'd be hilarious. I feel like
And then this
Flurry's got to die by some kind of bird. You know, like he's like some type
Hawk
of
girl.
bird's gonna, yeah,
Hawk girl.
girl's gonna come in,
girl.
mace the
You
fuck
can't
out
see
of
her.
him with nth metal, just boom, nth metal to the dome. He's just
And with Keith potentially being in this new world, right? Like the dark world, whatever. Actually, if he does have some sort of a face off with Chris, like what if there's actually a point where Chris is saying, you know what? Yeah, just end it. Because I do break everything I touch. Like I'm not meant to be in your world, in this world, in any world. And honestly, I'm a danger to Amelia at this point. 'Cause that's the only thing I would think would be like the saving grace. And I'm sure it's going to be a little James Gunny at the end, and we're going to get the power of friendship that sort of makes him change his mind and, you know, get the Care Bear stare from Amelia Harcourt, and Rainbow's going to pop out of John Economos, like whatever. But I think it's probably going to be done in a nice way. I think that's on the table. And Jag, you brought this up before the show that like they've talked about the plans for these characters. It might not even continue in Peacemaker. It's going to continue in a different show.
yeah. So yeah, like, to me, I'm open to anything at this point. We've already seen that he's willing to say goodbye to characters, at least taking what he's done with Guardians of the Galaxy. Did we actually get a major death out of that group? I guess
Yondu?
Gamora, but he didn't write that. Yondu. Yeah, that was a meaningful one. He brought Gamora back, obviously, because he's like, thank you, Russo brothers, for killing my shit, you know. But so like, but at the end of the day, actually, Creature Commandos. Think about that. He hyped up Nagursk. Yeah.
Nina.
He hyped up Nina the entire time, the heart and soul to kill her off. So I wouldn't be surprised if we fall in love with Chris and he sends him off, or there is the other option where we are literally just setting ourselves up to maybe trim off Peacemaker as like a vehicle, and we're going to go and build off into other things. Because I think that would be a cool idea. And I know I keep bringing this up. If we have Checkmate, because then we can have a Peacemaker story, or we can have a Vigilante story. And it just kind of works if we have a superhero group, so everyone can be a main character at different times. And it's not just always the Chris Smith story, you know, like I'd rather have the different groups have stories, you know.
So where do you?
It would also that idea. Sorry, that idea is a great one because it also free up John Cena's schedule. Because if he's not in every single episode, every single story, you can do almost like an anthology where you have this group where you focus on different characters and you can have different cameos while freeing up the schedule of the bigger name stars.
Is that what you guys would prefer? Like instead of just continuing on with it, this feels more like a finale conversation that we're having, but it still feels relevant because we're so close to it. Is this something you'd prefer? Like to have Peacemaker show up throughout various canon events of the DCU, potentially in movies or in other shows, or to continue on with his own show? Because, like we've said, with James Gunn, anything's on the table.
I think I want a bigger sandbox for James Gunn. That way, like now we know, and us, not just us as a community, not just them as the filmmakers in the studios, we've all learned together. We've all dated. We know what we like. We know what we want. I would rather have a show with a bigger sandbox, so I'm not always working in little silos where it's just like, okay, we have the Peacemaker show. Well, everyone really loves all these characters, so now we're going to have Checkmate to follow all of them. So now we have Peacemaker, now we have this. Just having a big sandbox, you can do all the things that you want, but it keeps us from having to do homework, and we get to keep the characters that we love. Because that's what ends up doing this, is we fall in love with the character, and we feel like we need a whole 4 seasons on that character. We don't need that. Look at Justice League. You know, back in the day, we got so much character development through all the entire Justice League at different moments, and no one needed their own show.
Thank you for bringing that up, Jack. I was going to say, imagine a street version or a non-meta version, non-meta human version of Justice League Unlimited with these characters. So that way we could follow them, have different stories, and not have to worry about, okay, we're on season 5 of Peacemaker. They're going to space, I guess. Instead, we can have different Uh, you know what I mean? Where you get tired of the same storyline or the same through line. So instead, you can open, like you said, just open up that bigger sandbox and allow different characters to come in and have little mini arcs. And you know what? Sometimes that's for the best, because some characters, like Judo Master, work really, really well in short amount of time, but you get too much of them and it's like having too much dessert and you get a little sick of it.
Or you can have like a little Judo Master season, you know, because it's like, again, to bring it back to Justice League, like Hawk Girl had like that whole arc that like her thing was like kind of the focus then. Exactly. And then next season we went to something else like that. There's so many different ways they can do this without fucking themselves over by keep just making new shows about these little
and
characters.
That was so good, you know? Man. Like when JLU, they would do like a little 2 to 3 episode arc where it's like, hey, we're going to do this thing with The Question and Huntress, right? And it just like totally just sends you around into a different part of the Justice League. And then the next week, all of a sudden you're looking at something with Wildcat and Black Canary and like just different people. It was great. It was like, that's what I would love, especially the way James Gunn has talked about his DCU is like doing something different where it's going to be kind of like the Star Wars universe. It's a big universe, but not every story needs to be totally interconnected. Like they can just all happen at different times, different places, different characters.
Big world, lots of smells.
Didn't like that. Nope.
That's from the
Lots
office.
of smells.
That's safe.
Oh, you're right.
That's safe.
You're right. You're right. All right. We're going to keep talking about this. But before we do, I just want to remind everybody, we've got a bunch of ways you can enjoy this show. First is right here on YouTube. The others are going to be Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And we actually have a giveaway for our Apple Podcast listeners. It's a $200 Amazon gift card for those of you that leave a review. So what you're going to do, leave a review with your best comment, theory, whatever it is that you love about our show or any of the shows that we are talking about. You're going to screenshot that, send it to unbingedpodcast@gmail.com. Once again, it's unbingedpodcast@gmail.com. Send that over there, and we are going to announce the winner on the October 27th. October 27th premiere of It, Welcome to Derry, when we do that show, and we'll announce the winner on that one. So, guys, let's go to the rest of the show here. It was a very emotionally charged episode. I still don't think a lot has really happened. There's a lot of emotion through each of these episodes because it's family, because it's death, it's hitting the James Gunn beats. But I think we've talked about this a bunch of times. It's a show that's really been stretched out from like maybe 4 or 5 episodes into a full, 8 episodes that it's going to be here. And I'm wondering, was this overall a good penultimate episode that sets up what could be a fantastic finale? Jag, I think at one point you even said like, I thought this was the finale, to be honest. Like I thought they just left it at a cliffhanger.
Yeah. I think they could have left it there. And I think I'm just getting fucked up by TV now because I'm so used to them. Like, they're like, you want the cookie next time? And they just like will never give it to me. So I was just like, I already in my head, I'm breaking up with them before they do it to me. And I'm like, I guess that was it. I'm mentally prepared. See you in 3 years, maybe, you know, like that's where I'm at now. So, I actually do think it was a good penultimate episode because we've been, to use the crude Mike White version, we've been getting edged for like 3 seasons. That like now we have everything centrally located because we already know there's no speculation. Where can they get through to our world? The only spot it's going to happen at Argus. Where are all of our characters right now? So they even set it up differently than what I think from season 1, where, well, all the butterflies and all the racists are going to meet up on this one spot for a big showdown. I think, honestly, we do. And at the same time, I know where everything is going to happen, but I don't know where it's going to finish because, you know, like what is Keith going to bring with him? Because that's what I want to talk about. Like, what's over on that other side there? What else is over there?
What kind of tech?
What kind of tech?
Like weaponry?
Yeah. What kind of things did they allow in their world? Because you got to imagine now, you know, they set off a kaiju at a Starbucks and Superman was there to say no. You know, like what if they're just using kaijus for police? You know, everything's on the table at this point. Because that's my big question is what's going to come through that door?
Do you think this is the way we get the Justice Gang back in for one last set of cameos in this finale? And whoever their person that they hired after doing that round of interviews is the person that I still think it's going to be Jaime Reyes, Blue Beetle, because James Gunn has promised more cameos, more big players to join in.
Even beyond,
I mean,
this?
yeah, like what? I mean, aside from what if we had really behind? I mean, we had Lex, right, and we got
we got WandaVision. Everyone's like, "Who's the scientist?" And it's just like
Is
a
it
fucking
Reed
Gotham
Richards?
villain,
Like, no.
like that accent. You know,
we did get WandaVision.
This is my
We got
console.
Mephisto'd.
yeah. Like he straight up got to be from Gotham canonically with that accent. You know, just say it in your head. It's the bad, you know?
I think that the point you're making though of like what he could bring in through the portal, it's going to make this a bigger than Peacemaker threat. Something that's going to force the Justice Gang or some other hero, probably not Superman. James Gunn's been pretty adamant that it's not Superman. I mean, he could just be lying, but I'm wondering if it's going to be the Justice Gang and whatever character cameos there. Metamorpho.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot about
That'd
that.
be dope.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Noho Metamorpho.
My number one choice in wish list is Mr.
Yes.
Terrific. You
It
know?
would be
like-
That'd be
just
fantastic. No pun intended.
Yeah, because James Gunn said he's like, I probably won't do movies on lesser known characters. I'm like, you're making Mr. Terrific a bigger name. Just give him one more little push, and then he's a household. Because you got to think, I was really intrigued that he said that, because I'm like, man, Guardians of the Galaxy, no one knew fuck all, and then they were like favorites out of it. So I was just really surprised that he would go that route. Now that he's the captain, he's a lot more careful, I feel like.
What if it's a cameo from Nazi World? Like, do you think there's anyone that Keith could bring with him that could be a big cameo?
It's not Superman, but it's the Red Sun that comes through.
It's
something
just
like
Dean
It
Cain
could
as
be-
Superman.
It could be what's his name?
Just being himself.
Overlord? Oh, God. No. Oh, God. It's Mecha Hitler.
that. I'm here to end the DEI in Argus.
Immediately hurts himself going through the door.
So sad.
Lasers out of bio.
He fucking trips on the door frame.
Okay, so Quantum Unfolding Chamber is something that we've talked about a little bit here, and how now that it's in the hands of Argus, how do they plan on using it? Like, what's the implication? What are the consequences of this? Right, because Argus kind of likes to fuck around. It's basically the same thing as. Yeah,
and find out.
Can we stop for a second? Did y'all hear what's his boy Hegseth?
Oh, no, let's not bring it up. Let's
It
not
was
talk
just
about
great.
that fucking idiot.
He said the FAFO,
I don't-
and my wife Gabby
Not
was like,
talking about-
"What? What does that mean?"
In front of, yeah.
She sucks with acronyms.
In front of every general of the United States military. What
incredible.
a fucking
It's
idiot.
incredible. Anyways, so with this, like, what could they fuck around with, right? Like, does this become something where they're asking Lex to then help them with it? Like, what's their cough? I can tell you got something.
Boss Hog.
So,
Got ourselves a gold mine, y'all. So
if the theory is true that this is a mother box or some version or variant of a mother box, they could accidentally open a portal to Acropolis.
Acropolis?
Say the
Apocalypse?
God damn it. Thank you. Apocalypse.
Dude, Acropolis is amazing.
Damn it. I can't say words sometimes. Dyslexia's a real bitch sometimes. Boy. So yes. So possibly open a portal to Apocalypse, and that could lead to the new gods. Because again, we have talked about James Gunn has named this first chapter of the DCU Gods and Monsters. So far, we've really only seen one god in Superman. So this could be a way to open the door literally to a whole set of new gods.
they're oh my gosh, who's our guy that has like the green, yellow, red outfit, Mr.
Metamorpho.
No. There's one of the new gods and I'm blanking on it.
Mr.
No.
Mxyzptlk?
James Gunn is going to do an animated
Oh.
series on it, and it's like pissing me off right now that I can't remember who it is.
Oh, you're talking about Booster Gold.
Nope, nope. It's someone. I think he's like he can do like performative magic and stuff like that. It's not Zatara.
The dude from Apocalypse.
Yes.
I know you're talking
Yes.
about. Mr. Miracle.
Thank you, Mr. Miracle.
Miracle
I
Man.
want to call him
Miracle
Mr.
Man.
Magic
Yeah,
like an
sorry.
idiot. People
Yeah,
are on the
Miracle
other
Man.
side,
There you
like
go.
ghosts are screaming at this podcast right now. Yes, Mr. Miracle. So like I know that's something he wants to do in an animated series that's coming out soon. So Koff, like I subscribe to this, that we could actually be seeing some of the new gods. And something that I saw floating around is now that we know that Augie Smith didn't create the quantum unfolding chamber, the way it looks, and it's also very similar to the look of Peacemaker's helmet. It all looks very similar to Orion's helmet, who, I mean, that would just fit in perfect. I don't know if you guys, I mean, you guys do follow Wednesday Pool on Threads, and he just kept posting pictures of Orion pretending it was Peacemaker and just trolling the fuck out of people over and over and over, and them getting pissed off. And then like it started to hit where some people were like, wait a tick though, that kind of makes sense though. Like this could be a connection we just haven't made yet, even though you're joking.
That I don't hate
Yeah,
it.
because all that tech could be stolen straight from the new.
Well, because
gods.
it's like, okay, what if? I mean, yeah, I think we kind of know there's gonna be, or we assume there's gonna be Brainiac in the next Superman movie, but we're opening doors to all these big threats. Like this would seem like the perfect way to do it, and I think it would also give us the understanding of who that little interdimensional imp was and why they had that technology.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The implications of what they can pull through, because it's, again, this is why we love multiverses and why we hate multiverses. It's the ultimate plot device where it's just like yeah,
Anything
they're
could
like, well, how
happen.
did we get this monster? Yeah, it's a different universe, you know. like I just think of all the time like the Joker, where he's just like, yeah, it's gone, you know. That's kind of
Ta-da!
where like that's how we use multiverses. So I feel like it's just what we're gonna pull through. And then again, I'm still team, let's kill the multiverse. Let's make it an ultimate nuke button that we only use if we really have to, and we're not going to use it for a long time. Because like I said, DC is so huge in space that we don't even need shit. Like I would love to see Mongol as a Superman hero or a Superman villain or something like that. There's so many options that we just don't have to keep using the Doctor Strange portal of like a multiverse for things.
So, guys, with this, like I mentioned, and we've talked about this a bunch, it's an extremely emotional episode. The emotional state of Peacemaker is very fragile right now. Feels like the emotional state of all the characters are very fragile right now. I think this lends to the question where obviously Peacemaker says it doesn't matter what dimension I'm in, mine, this one, I break everything I touch. Is he an innately good character? Is this a hero? Is this an anti-hero? This might even just be too simple of a question because I don't think it's this black and white. Is Peacemaker good? Should we be rooting for him, or are we just along for the emotional roller coaster?
I think it's a complicated question that, and again, if you've like done any type of know anything about therapy or anything about like modern psychology, it's impact versus intent. That's what Peacemaker has a problem with. His intent is always good, but his impact is not, and he has difficulty addressing that because it's a compounding issue. He sucks at impact and intent, and then on top of that, bad things happen. So when you have these two things going on, it just feels like it's all just impact on Chris. So to answer your question philosophically, just straight like black and white, I think he is a good person. It's just it's kind of like what Adebayo said. I didn't say he was smart.
He intends
Yeah.
to be a good person. Yeah, he intends to be a good person, but he ends up doing the thing that makes him a bad person, which is violence and murder. Like we even saw it. No one addressed it, but we saw it when he took out the Sons of Liberty. Like he thought he was doing the right thing, but now in retrospect, he was actually assisting a Nazi regime with taking out freedom fighters. So his impact then is negative. So I I'm almost on the camp where it's like it doesn't matter what he intends anymore.
It's so
His
bad.
impact is
Yeah.
so negative, is so big, is so bad. He can't. There's almost nothing he can do that can overcome it. I mean, he saved the world from the butterfly invasion, but almost by happenstance. It wasn't really by intention until the very end. So, is it possible for him to really find any redemption, or has his negative impact been so big that he's too far gone?
Guys, I found it right now. I don't know why we didn't see it when we were watching it just now. The promo for next week's episode 9. It does appear that Argus is going to pull a Stranger Things, and they've got people in in hazmat suits that they're going to be sending through the doors into alternate dimensions. And it does look like those people that they're going to force through are going to be our favorite characters, Harcourt and some of these others that are going through, and they're going to be going through a bunch of various doors, one of which looks exactly like the kind of skeleton graveyard that we see in Creature Commandos, where there's like a skull on top of some spider legs and all that. And it looks like that's been totally brought to life here in CGI. There looks like there's a lot that's going to be going on where they're just probably going to tease us as to there's a whole big sandbox out there, Jack, just like you said. So this makes me wonder, could they be, I don't want to use this term because it sounds so wrong. Could they almost be sacrificing a Peacemaker finale for the sake of look at where the DCU is going? Is that a decision that you guys would want to see as fans?
So instead of giving,
I mean, they can keep using it as vehicles, man. Like Creature Commandos. Like, what was that? You know, like that. Like, I don't mean this as a critique, but like, was it purpose or intent for the greater of the DCU? Like my best selling point. It's like, hey man, if you want to know more about Rick Flag Sr., go watch Creature Commandos. So, and I know this is a cop-out answer. I don't know, man. Like we could just have this as just a finale, or to me, everything they've been hinting at, I just don't think it's just like something to end Peacemaker. They have to be throwing and lobbing it up for something bigger. And I think that, again, and I hate to do the DCU versus MCU thing, but it's the only thing that we have to compare for a franchise this big, is that you need to make these things matter for other people to want to go and watch them. So there's going to be some type of handoff to the greater good so people feel like it was worth it, you know?
Go off.
well, I think, oh, it's okay. I think as long as we can get a satisfying emotional end to Chris's story this season, what does that look like, right? Is that a confrontation with Keith and
sure,
having Keith give him forgiveness? So if he can have that sort of catharsis, I guess everything else that happens in the episode, that if it goes to set up future projects like Superman, Man of Tomorrow, and some of these other projects, then I'd say go for it. I say that's a satisfying finale because you get both an emotional end to the arc of the current show while also teeing up future projects that we all
I think that's
see.
what we're going to get. I think we're going to get the Chris Smith finale with his brother and try to close up that story a little bit. And then James Gunn did something this episode that he does a lot, which is take some of the tertiary characters, the background characters that you either don't care about or you've grown to actually just be annoyed of, and be like, hey, you know what? They're kind of cool. And he did that with Judo Master. He did that with a couple. He put like John Economos in the forefront in this episode. He did it in the previous episode as well. Adebayo, Vigilante. Like this really seemed, and it kind of all really. How do I want to say this? It really came to fruition at the end there when they're all holding down Keith together, right? Where it's just like, this isn't just a Peacemaker show. This is about all of these characters, and that the DCU isn't just about the heroes. It's about everyone that's in it.
The friends that slay together.
Man, you were really just
together.
holding that on your hip. I saw you cheesing from ear to fucking ear, ready to say that.
Is that from K-pop Demon Hunters? That sounds like
Yep.
it'd be. I've never seen it.
Oh man. But I do love how willing his friends were to go to Chris's defense and like take on Keith.
Dude,
in, like no
Harcourt
time.
was ready
Like, they
just
jumped
to-
on him
just end him right there.
to blow him away. Yeah, she's like,
Yeah.
we can't have you following. Yeah, and then the stupid cops
I
ruin
think
everything.
it's so easy to get all Westworld about a different universe. You're like, I'm not real here. Bow, bow, bow. Bye, shadow person. And then you like dip out.
That's vigilante for sure.
Okay. So what is it then, I guess, what is it that you would want in a season finale next week? What is the most important thing for you going into that episode?
Value.
Keith, but Keith confronting and then ultimately forgiving Chris, and then Chris inviting him to stay in this universe because Keith's not really a
Okay,
Nazi.
Koff.
Hopefully, let's hope he's not.
Let's pretend that puppies don't eat rainbows and shit Skittles for a second. And so
I'm just saying, hey, we got the reveal that Augie was not, this alternate Augie was not a Nazi, so maybe he was able to
think
raise
we're
his
getting the
sons
happy
in
ending,
a
bro.
way that they're not Nazis.
I think that's what Augie was talking about. I've talked to you about this shit. Like maybe Keith is the one who flies off the handle
Yeah.
in this universe more often than not. Maybe he's that brother that is a little bit more right-leaning than the rest of the family are. He just doesn't seem to really give
Augie's
a
like
fuck.
Augie's the good dad, but his kids had too many privileges in life that they were just kind of do whatever the fuck we
Cunts.
want. Yeah, okay.
They're cunts.
Cunts, yeah. That's a good word. Good word for it. The thing is that I think what we're seeing is that Chris is going to have his happy ending with Amelia. And I don't think they're going to be compounding so many happy endings one on top of the other. There's got to be something that remains tragic about this character, I think. I do think that's what happens. And I do think that what could end up happening here is Keith's going to die. And I think it's going to be Peacemaker having to come to grips with that, even though he is the one to kill him, even though he is the one to destroy everything he touches, it's not always a bad thing, and that he's going to have to live in that gray area. Like there's just no going back, and that's okay because that's who he is, and that the friends and the people around him accept him for that because that's who they are too. Mm-hmm. It's the friends we made along the way,
Yep.
It's the found family.
Yeah, it's like when I say a value, like I said, all it matters is to me is like make it matter. Like make all this edging worth it. And I don't want the whole like the joke that I made at the beginning. I don't want the whole. It's like, oh, you gotta wait. I hope this matters in Superman, or maybe in the next show you gotta wait. I don't want that shit. And if I want to go the cough route, I just hope Chris gets some acceptance and closure. That's like I don't think that this is gonna tie up. And
he deserves a happy ending.
I think he deserves acceptance and closure. That doesn't always mean a happy ending, Koff. That means accepting things as the way they are.
I think we want him to have the happy ending because he's our main character, because we've enjoyed John Cena's performance. There's so many things about this character, though, that does not deserve a happy ending, but he does deserve, like Jag is saying, closure. I think everyone deserves that.
And acceptance.
Man.
You know what I do want to see is maybe like a post-credit scene where Rick Flag points G.I. Robot to the door to Nazi Row and go, sick 'em, boy, and then it cuts to black.
No, I would have been like Sopranos. They're at a diner. And then
Journey comes on.
don't stop believing. And then it just like Peacemaker will return in Doomsday.
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious.
All right, so we got one more episode of Peacemaker, and then that's really it for superhero stuff for the rest of the year, guys. We got nothing else. Eventually we're going to get, I know you made the joke, Jag, but eventually we're going to get a Doomsday trailer in like December or January, something like that. But yeah, DC is going to be on the shelf for a little bit until we get Supergirl and then eventually Man of Tomorrow. So
we need it. This is normal. This is a good thing.
I'm excited about it.
Go watch films, guys. Right. Go watch. Like I'm telling you, like watch our show. But this is a great time for theater where you can go watch a movie and you don't have to fucking watch 1,000 other things. You know, go watch one battle after another. Great film. You know, just there's a lot of shit.
If you want to feel, terrible at the end of the movie, go watch The Long Walk. It's a great film, but God, is
you
it
love Stephen
depressing.
King, dude. You love Stephen King.
It's so good. He's good. He's so good. I know Jag's not a fan, but
movies.
I don't care.
Fair. All right, we're gonna be back again next week.
I mean, I've got like 4 whole shelves dedicated to him. So yeah, I love Stephen
we're
King.
quite fucking aware. We got it. We're gonna be back again next week. Cough, Jag, you guys are finishing up Task. I'm finally caught up, so I won't be joining for the recordings, but I'm caught up. I know what's going on. We can talk about it in the shadows. That show's great. We got a bunch of other shows that we're going to be talking about as we continue on. I mentioned all of them earlier. So please, guys, make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel here. As always, leave a review on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. It helps us out a ton. And as always, I want to thank everybody for watching or listening all the way through. For myself, for Jag, for Cough, we'll see you next time. Adios.